For 1 week, Sturgis, South Dakota is home to 500,000 bikes. It's also home to the World Championship of Bike Building. Bikers come in droves to check out the best of the best and pick their favorite.
Oh, they're by far, hands down, the best bikes in the world.
This bike is really incredible. You don't see one catalog part on it anywhere. That's what's so impressive about it, I think.
Among the fans, KG Kawakita's Hot Dog Nautilus has emerged as a huge favorite. But this competition isn't judged by the fans.
One thing I do love is judged by the builders themselves. They don't judge on paint, which a lot of shows do. They judge on engineering.
When it comes to technically superior engineering and elegant presentation, Canadian Roger Goldhammer is in a league of his own. Roger won the AMD Bike Building Championship the first 2 years the event was held.
At the first World Championships, when I won it, at first it was, you just happened to be in the same parking lot with these people, right? And to get that acknowledgement from them is a pretty amazing thing.
Roger's entry this year is a sport bike that uses a single cylinder from a Harley V-twin engine. It was clocked at 164 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats, a world record for an engine of this size.
The idea was to build and present a show bike at this event, but one with some history to it, some real substance to it.
To the layman, this may look like your average sports bike, but real bike builders know what it takes to put substance before flash.
A bike that wins this show is very different from a show that would be, let's say, judged by the public. Because it's judged by the builders, people know what's involved and what's unique about these things. And that a lot of the times, to build a minimalist, very simple-looking bike is much more difficult than the big, flamboyant, crazy choppers that we are used to today.
But to win, Roger will have to beat bikes from all classes, including a classic chopper from up-and-comer Dave Covington and top American builder Dave Cook's nickel-plated bike, inspired by the sleek lines of the board track racers from the 1920s. 80 years later, the vintage board track racer is still the ride of choice for one rotten biker. Meet Rhett Rotten.
The Indian is the heart of my show. Everybody today, they want to be riding $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 motorcycles. I ride old bikes that ride good.
Rhett is a throwback to the days of barnstorming. But instead of standing on planes, he stands on bikes. Every year at the rally, Rhett sets up his vintage racetrack, the Wall of Death.
It was built in 1941. That's the very beginning of World War II. It's 12 feet high, it's 30 feet round, and I'm truly one of the last pioneers to help keep the era of old board track racing alive. I come in here and I'm racing against death. It's me versus death.
How's everybody doing up there today? Doing all right? All right.
This is Rhett Rotten Live, and my name's Rhett, and you watch me go. Give it up.
At 60 miles per hour, Rhett uses centrifugal force to ride the wall horizontally.
It's just a constant, never-ending left-hand turn for me.
He battles up to 4 Gs, roughly the same force astronauts endure during a space shuttle liftoff.
People ask me if I get dizzy all the time. I never got dizzy from the first day I rode. A lot of people that ride, when they look up, they want to go down. When they look down, they want to go up. Me, I've always been able to look at everything. I know what everybody's doing up there.
The key to Rhett's death-defying success is his 1929 Indian Scout. It's the original custom bike, specially modified for riding the Wall of Death.
Now, every one of these bikes are built for the rider themselves, for the kind of stunt work they're going to do. You can't just get on a 101 and think you're going to ride around one of these. This bike was built by Rhett for what he's going to do on the track and his stunt work, meaning he has to have the bars set up the height he needs to get his legs over, back and forth. you could tool this over and do what you had to do with a minimal amount of tools, made these bikes the perfect bike for the Wall of Death. And Rhett still uses the original bikes that were used because he's keeping the old board track racing and Wall of Death the way it's supposed to be. Because he's hardcore, and that's the way he wants it. And that's what he believes in.
Coming up, the world's best builders have brought 68 badass bikes to Sturgis, but only one will be crowned world champion.
Ride to live, live to ride, baby.